Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.
Good evening, and welcome along to Rob and Elliott tonight. So who's coming up on the show this evening? Well, we'll be catching up with Boyzone's Keith Duffy, who was in Portadown recently. Why? We'll find out a little bit later on. Actress and comedy star Caroline Curran is also with us in the studio, telling us about her latest festive project. We'll have some live music from Black Dog Moon and Marty Rafo, and we'll be chatting to a lady who's done the biggest challenge of her career to date. She swam the English Channel. We're talking about Alice Tyne, and we'll chat to her very shortly. As always, let's begin with this week's big talking points. What has she got for us this week? Here's broadcaster and journalist Kim Kelly. How are you? I'm great, thank you, and I'm here with all the important news. Yes, well, we're starting off by talking about jobs, aren't we?
Yes.
A big job.
Would you like a new job?
Yes, please. Would you like a new job?
No, I love it here.
I hear you're getting plenty of offers.
I know, I wish people would actually tell me about these offers to be great.
I hear you're getting your own TV show.
Apparently so.
Apparently so. It's going to be the Kim Kelly show or something.
Yeah, maybe. You're all going to watch it. I don't even know who he is.
And that was your jobs and your bank balance. What?
Right, okay, a job, $30,000 a year, and you will be a baby name consultant. That is a real job. People are making this money. There's a girl on where else? TikTok, and she is a baby name consultant. So
now I'm going to stop you right there because I know you've gone for this job, because if you flick back the last year on this show, there's a baby name feature in every other week.
I love it. It's one
and
of
you've been investigating
this.
So you are the baby name consultant.
There's something about names, I don't know, they just tell a story of a person. Anytime I see a new name, I do really like it. Yeah. I love people's names, and I don't like it whenever people call their babies David. Not that there's anything wrong with David, but I like the more out there names. So for £30,000, you tell the lady what kind of names you like. You say, I'm like a polo player and my husband is a deep sea diver, so we're looking for nautical themed horsey names. And she comes up, this is serious, and she comes up with a list of names, things like cutesy vintage, Celtic cool, £30,000. Now for $650, she'll just give you a list, one list. But if you want the full consultation, it's £30,000.
See, I know where you're sneaking off to after this show. You're going for that job interview.
Consultant. I think I could do that.
You're going for it.
I think I'm not sure people would go for it in Northern Ireland, because we all tend to call, people the same names. Like I always tell the story about my ex-husband, who's called Cathal McNaughton, who got into the car with 3 other people called Cathal McNaughton. and then the police stopped them and they went, "What are you all called?" They're like, "Cathal McNaughton." Couldn't make it up. We all just give, that's a real Northern Ireland thing to be called the same name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't work here.
No. Okay, what else have you got for us?
Okay. What about the lady who didn't turn her heat on for 4 years?
She must be freezing.
No, she's not. She says she's not, and she says that you are soft. So this lady, she kind of fell into this frugal lifestyle. She was living in a flat and the heating wouldn't work. So she was just cold. But then she moved house and she decided that she was going to continue with this. And her bill is £14 a month. And she uses a heated throw, sometimes but not always. Right. The heated throw costs 1p a day, but she only uses it sometimes because she doesn't want to, be too extravagant. But there is a cost of living crisis. But I think not turning on your heat in 4 years is... Have you turned on your heat yet? My heat's been on all weekend. Yeah, I didn't turn mine on until October. I was all proud of myself. I don't know why. I put the electric blanket on the other night as well. I always have my electric blanket on. I like to be cosy. But yeah, I don't think I could be that girl. No. To save that money. She says that she spends the money on travel. Right, we're off to America for two final crazy stories. So I read these 2 stories and I thought, oh, they're crazy over there in America. But then I thought, maybe they're not, maybe they're right. So in a restaurant in America, there is a surcharge if you can't parent your own children. We've all been there, haven't we?
I like that.
Where you go in, because you know, you're the child catcher. So if you go into a restaurant and your children are misbehaving, at the bottom of your bill it'll say, failure to parent, surcharge, $40.
I like that. I've seen some kids being really, really badly behaved in restaurants, right?
Yep.
And then I try to bring Mia into a restaurant.
That's his dog, by the way.
And they say, no, you can't bring your dogs in here. Yeah. She's better behaved than some children are in restaurants.
Cleaner. Your dog is exceptionally clean.
She is, very clean, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, the Americans maybe have it right. And then the other one was this person who was caught speeding.
Right.
Now, he was doing 90 in a 35. That's really naughty. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And he got sent a fine through the post for £1 million.
Wow, that's some fine.
Now, apparently it was a typo.
Right.
But it couldn't be changed. So the court just said to him, pay it, or you're coming to court. And he went, well, I can't pay it because it's £1 million. Yeah. And they went, tough, you'll go to jail then. And I kind of
he's in jail?
I don't know, I didn't get to the end of the story. No, the court date is December. Right. So he's going to have to find a way of paying this £1 million, and then it'll probably be given back to him, because really the fine should only be £1,000. But I thought, you know what, if you're driving 90 in a 35, tough.
Exactly.
Good old America.
I mean, you should be driving a big, flash, fancy car as well.
It's too fast.
Yeah.
Pay that £1 million. There you go.
Exactly. You have been told. That's it. Do you want to hear some new music?
I would love to.
New music from Marty Rafo. His new single is called The Last Goodbye. Here it is.
About me, oh, have you found your way? I still remember when we first met and how our love was so strong. We used to say nothing would come between us, so where did it all go wrong? But we were blinded by the summer sun, and we would dance all night to the beat of the drum. We couldn't fight it. That's when I thought you were the one. Well, I could never let you down. There's too much space between us now. You never called me anyhow. Just give me one good reason why. 'Cause this could be our last goodbye. Changed jobs, moved to the city, and fell for another guy. I hope he knows that we've unfinished business that we both can't deny. Time is moving on so fast today, sometimes in life it's easier.
So there we go, brand new music from a singer-songwriter, Marty Rafo. We'll have some more from him shortly, and we'll chat to the man himself right after these.
Heading to the North Coast? The Jet Centre in Curran offers entertainment for everyone. There's an 8-screen movie house cinema with all the best movies, 10-pin bowling, a massive arcade, soft play for the wee ones. Outdoors, there's a mini fun park and gem mining, plus an 18-hole floodlit mini golf course. Rain or shine, there's something for everyone here at the Jet Centre. Find out more at thejetcentre.co.uk.
So, welcome back to Rob and Elliott tonight. Just before the break, we heard The Last Goodbye, the brand new single from Marty Rafo, and I'm pleased to say he joins us now in the studio. How are you, sir?
Oh yeah, all good, Rob. Thank you very much for inviting me onto the show.
Good to see you. Congratulations on the new single, and a great video as well with it.
Yeah, I think the first idea for the video was just one take, walking from the Merchant Hotel, you know, live, just straight on down the Cathedral Quarter and finishing up the Duke of York. But I think because we made the trip from Armagh to Belfast, the videographer decided that he wanted to shoot in a few different locations.
Yes, yeah.
So we did the walk through the Cathedral Quarter and then went to Titanic Quarter and then pretty much all over Belfast.
And of course here in the Cathedral Quarter we've got this great music scene happening in kind of all the bars at the moment as well, haven't we?
Yeah, well, I have residency in the Thirsty Goat every Sunday night from 11 to 1. So that's what got me introduced to Cathedral Quarter, and obviously a lot of my friends are musicians. So I think it's just brilliant because there's a lot of people even come from England and all over and just can't believe how vibrant our music scene is over here in Belfast.
So music-wise, things are going great for you. I mean, you're having great success in the South as well at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, so my PR team is actually from the South. So they were the ones that came on board, you know, obviously have been promoting this single. And I got good news there just when it was released that Radio 2 FM, or RTE 2 FM had picked it up. So it's good, didn't know to be obviously, you know, on national radio with a single. So yeah, couldn't ask for anything better.
So what about the new single? What's the kind of main story behind it then?
It's a story about love, being in love, and then the heartbreak of then, you know, losing the person you love, and then reminiscing on the good times. But then by the end of it, feeling that it was the best thing to do. And people keep on asking me, is it about anyone specific? And I'll probably say it is, but I'll not tell the name of the person who it's about for their own sake.
And is it going to be an album to follow this? So what's the kind of plans for the future then?
Yeah, so we're chatting about that with the PR team, Robin. So I think I'm going to release another single in February, and then that's going to coincide with an EP, I think, in March. And then the plan is a few kind of bigger support slots, supporting bigger acts. The main focus is really building up the profile in the island of Ireland, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's the main focus for next year. You
got a big gig coming up in February, I believe.
Yeah, so I was contacted by the Market Street or the Marketplace Theatre in Armagh. So there's a real talented musician called Taylor Lolly that's playing there.
Been on this show. She's really. I was with her, in fact, on Saturday night. She's
brilliant. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's playing in the Marketplace on the 14th of February. So I was asked to come and join her and play a bit of a set of my own songs. So that's coming up, 14th of February in the Armagh Marketplace Theatre.
So you've got the guitar with you. Will you do a live one in the studio for us?
Yeah, so I'm going to do a new song, Robin, that no one's heard, called As Good As It Gets.
We look forward to that. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much for the invite.
My oh my, I've waited for so long for the sun to set upon my dreams. I lie awake and I stare up at the stars. How I wish my life wasn't as it seems. If this is real, then maybe I'm just afraid to give in to this feeling of regret. Now I'm older, time is moving on. There are things I would rather just forget. And in my mind I hear a voice singing my favorite song, and I get the feeling that I won't have to wait too long to watch the sun come up and to watch it as it sets. 'Cause now I know that this is as good as it gets. My oh my, well I've seen this city change. I remember how it looked when I was young. I walk these streets and I sometimes think of you and all those things that I wish I'd said and done. Then I realize that I have everything I need, and I'm stronger than you will ever know. don't you worry, you won't hear from me again, 'cause I've conquered every fear within my soul. And in my mind I hear a voice singing my favorite song, and I get the feeling that I won't have to wait too long to watch the sun come up and to watch it as it sets. 'Cause now I know that this is as good as it gets. My, oh, my, oh. Cause in my mind I hear a voice singing my favorite song, and I get the feeling that I won't have to wait too long to watch the sun come up and to watch it as it sets. 'Cause now I know this is as good as it gets. Now I know this is as good as it gets.
Right, time now to meet a gold medalist who's just taken on a brand new challenge. In fact, something I think is the greatest challenge of her career so far. She's just finished swimming the English Channel. We're talking about Alice Ty, who joins us now on the line. How are you?
I'm a little bit ill actually. Yeah, but I'm still getting over the fact that we're channel swimmers. Like I've achieved a lot with swimming, but this is just something that I can't get my head around at all.
So anybody that takes on a challenge like this, I think for a start, you're absolutely crazy. But from a serious point of view, was it scary at any time? Was there any time that you thought, I'm not going to make it to the other side?
Yeah, well, I mean, so there were 6 of us in the relay, and none of us had any formal wild or sea swimming experience. So we had a few months kind of trying to train up for it. A couple of the swimmers weren't very confident at all. One of them, Hafsa, she couldn't swim at all. But Optimum Nutrition were absolutely amazing. They brought in a guy called Greg White, who he trained David Walliams to swim the channel, so he's very well practiced, and he got us all ready to go across, and it was amazing. Literally Hafsa went from not being able to swim at all to swimming across the channel. So seeing that progression is insane.
So what about the training then? How tough was that?
Yeah, so the training, it was all very individualized because the levels of swimmers that we had in the relay was very varied. So for those who weren't so confident in the water, it was just building up confidence and technique in the pool. And then for the swimmers that were already a bit more stable and had more experience, it was building up the aerobic capacity. So, it's a long way from England to France. So that was the main goal. I only had about a month to get the training in because I had World Championships where I was doing sprint events. So I had to train for that first and then completely flip my training on its head.
Now, as well as preparing for this challenge and all the physical stuff involved as well, was there a lot involved to keep you focused throughout too?
Yeah, do you know what? When you're stood on the boat about to get in, it's so much more intimidating than I thought it ever would be. Mentally, you have to fully accept that everything you've done, your nutrition, your training, everything has led up to that moment, which is similar to competitive swimming, in the pool. But I think, it was pitch black and we had to jump into the channel at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, which is just, oh my gosh, I can't believe that any of us actually did that. But yeah, little things, after we'd all done our first leg and it was rotating again, everyone was quite cold. A few of us had gotten seasick. And as positive as we could be, there also needed to be that nutrition side. One of the guys literally took a pre-workout before he got in, and the difference in 5 minutes. First of all, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. This is going to be really difficult. took the pre-workout, and he came back a completely changed man. He was like, I'm tingling, I'm ready. He was like, get me in the water. And we were all like, where's this come from? Yeah. So I think you can prepare physically, and you can eat all the right things in the lead up, but really there are those like small things like just taking pre-workout even though you feel a bit seasick to get you prepared to conquer the like leg of the relay, because it was tough. Yeah.
Obviously, when you first jump into the sea, it's bound to be very cold, but does that disappear after a while? What happens?
It doesn't for me. I don't know why. So I was cold for my whole swim, but I was also, I just kept a rhythm going, kept different songs in my head, tried to distract myself. But at the same time, every time I breathed to my right, all I could see was pitch black and then the moon. And when I breathed to my left, it was just like blinding lights from the boat. So it was really disorientating because obviously there were lots of waves and it was pretty choppy. But yeah, it was, yeah, gosh.
And what songs were going through your head?
Just snippets. There was, I actually don't know any of the names. I had some of the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I had a few of those going through my head, which was bizarre. Like they just popped in and I was like, oh, well, I guess we're going with this. Yeah, just random choruses of songs or like the hooks of them. And they'd be in my head for ages. And then I didn't know how long it had been. People were standing over the side of the boat holding up like fingers being like 10 more minutes and stuff. I couldn't see them. So in my head, I just stuck to half an hour. I was like, it's been half an hour. And then I heard people yelling off the boat going, 2 minutes, which was great. Because then I was like, oh my God, I'm like, cool.
Now, there is a wider focus to this as well, because we're talking about trying to get people to try new things, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's really difficult for people to go and try new things. Like, I personally struggle with it because I like to be good. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like to try something and be like, oh yeah, I'm good at this. I'm proud of myself. So when I try something and it's not great the first couple times, like I get really disheartened, which is a really bad approach to anything. But also, just fear holds people back a lot. And I think we really wanted to be like, these people the rest of the team are still working. They had to work and train at the same time. And they found hours to put into their day to go to the pool, to go and train, to think extra about their nutrition in order to swim the channel. And because they had such a solid goal at the end, they were able to find those hours. And by the end of the challenge, they were like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got like an extra 2-3 hours every day and I need something to fill it. Like I think Hafsa is running a marathon or a half marathon now. And I think it's very goal driven. When you really set your mind to something, you will find incremental moments to reach that. But also don't be scared. The channel's terrifying. If a non-swimmer 6 months ago can learn to swim, then can jump in the freezing cold channel in the pitch black at 5 a.m. in the morning, then anything's possible. She's amazing. Hafsa's amazing. I can't believe her story, to be honest. I wish I could talk about it more.
So you've won a gold medal back in 2016. You've swam the channel now. What's the next challenge? Is there going to be one?
I don't know, just keep going until my body gives out, I think. I really enjoy swimming in general. It's given me so much and so many opportunities. I'd love to go to Paris next year and maybe hopefully get a few more golds, fingers crossed. I was really gutted that I missed out on Tokyo because of injury. So it'd only be my second Paralympics, even though I've been in the sport for probably too long now, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going, see where it takes me. And when I feel like the time is right to retire, I'll retire. But I don't think that will be anytime soon.
Well, Alice, once again, congratulations on your challenge of swimming the channel. And thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Right, I can't believe we're talking about Christmas already, and a brand new Christmas show called Are Yule Being Served? Caroline Curran is going to tell us all about it right after these.
Here we are on the north coast, where sporting legends are made. He needs this putt to advance to the next stage, but can he do it? The crowd are holding their breath. Can he cope with the pressure?
Dad, would you take the shot?
Yes! Yes!
Well. So welcome back to Rob and Elliott tonight. Still to come, Kim Kelly is catching up with Boyzone star Keith Duffy. But before that, I can't believe we're talking about Christmas already and a brand new Christmas show. I'm pleased to say that actor, producer now as well, comedy legend, Caroline Curran is with us. How are you?
I'm okay, Robin. Thank you for having me.
You're kind of looking festive.
I know, I deliberately
did
that.
Effort?
Yeah,
did
I
you today?
Stick on some red. Speaks Christmas, doesn't it? You dressed up as well.
I know. Look at this. I know it's like.
Can I borrow that for the show? I need a costume.
Of course you can. We'll talk about the new show in a minute, but you seem to be the busiest person in the acting world at the moment. You've just finished Burnt Out at the Lyric, and you played a policewoman in that. And I have to say, I've met people, police people, just like your character in
brilliant. Well, yes, I had the amazing opportunity to do a Gary Mitchell play, which I had never done before, never met Gary, and then got cast as the policewoman, PC McGoldrick, and was in with so much talent in that cast, you know, Kerry Quinn and Terry Keeley, Keelan Byrne and Shannon McNeese, give everyone a shout out while I'm here. And it was an amazing experience. Jimmy Fay directing, and the Lyric themselves it was brilliant team to work for.
But very dark. What a dark show, wasn't it?
I wanted, as said before, I wanted people to see me doing something completely different.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people would associate me with comedy, which I love doing. Yeah. It's also a very hard genre to do. She says, leading into a Christmas show. But yes, and I think everybody was pleasantly surprised when they saw me in Burnt Out, which was great.
Now, when it comes to comedy, I mean, there's one character that I don't think you'll ever be able to shake off.
That's fine. That's
Maggie
good.
Muff. You will never get away from her, will you?
I know, and she's a part of me, and a few people who came to Burnt Out have been to all the Maggie shows, so it opened up a lot of doors that way. People who came to see her have now come to see me in different things, which is invaluable and shows the sort of following that she had, and the audiences here are so loyal, and that's what I love about them. So I'm hoping that everyone is going to come and see my new show.
Which is this, Are Yule Being Served? You're on in the Mac. Tell us all about it then.
Yes, so a lot of people know that over the past sort of 10 years I would have been at Theatre at the Mill, and then last year I was at the Grand Opera House Studio, and this year I decided to get back writing because I hadn't written for a few years. I'd sort of given it a break to see if I was funny or not. We're still debating that. And then a few of my close friends were like, why don't you just try and do your own thing, you know, get yourself back out in the running for writing, and I'm also starring in it as well. So I come up with Are Yule Being Served, which is all about hospitality. And as you know, being an actor, a lot of actors do work in hospitality as a stopgap. We have to pay bills. People have, you know, mortgages to pay. And so my story is about Scarlett, who she is an ageing actress. She's getting on a bit. I suppose it's sort of autobiographical. And this opportunity arises to see if she's going to take this part or not.
Yes.
And it's all about, you know, hospitality being her stability, you know, and being able to pay bills, you know, week to week, whereas within the acting world, sometimes people can go 6 months without any work. And could she go back to, you know, that sort of life again, or will she give up her dreams and just sort of settle? So that's what the story is based on.
Could you ever go back to a job out of the acting world?
Well, I did stage management before, so you know, I have been behind the scenes and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's because
have you ever had a proper job, as they call it?
I worked in a shop.
Did you?
Yes, I worked in a shop when I was really, really young for about 10 years, a sweet shop actually, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was family owned and we all pitched in, so I come from that aspect, and I tried all different sort of. I also cleaned a large supermarket chain one time. I was a cleaner. Yeah, I lasted one night because the place was massive and I couldn't get rid of it, so I knew that wasn't for me, but I can write about it now. And yes, so I interviewed loads of actors, and that was like the common denominator, was finding those characters that, you know, people would see, especially if they were, so waitress, manager, chef, and then the customers that come and go
yeah.
do with functions and work dues and weddings. And so I think there's a bit for everybody in here, people who have worked in hospitality and also people who go into the Wind Your Neck Inn for maybe a little tipple here or there and then chaos will ensue.
So you've written it, you're starring in it, and you're producing it, which again takes it on to a different level, as I know, because all the pressure is on you and you only.
Yes, yes. So please get your tickets so I can get my actors to eat. Yes, there's two amazing fellas who are working with me on it. One's Paddy Buchanan, Patrick, and Rodri Lewis. You've seen them in, you know, Blue Lights, Hope Street, Torchwood. They're also, you know, they've done a lot in the theatre as well. They've done plays with me. So we're all multi-rollers, so you'll get to see all different aspects of our characters coming out.
Brilliant.
Yes, and I have a wonderful director of Dominic Montague, and Finn Kennedy is also co-producing it with me. So I'm surrounding myself with a really great team, and I think that's what makes these shows work.
So the 7th of December it opens, and it runs right through until New Year's Eve as well.
New Year's Eve, yeah. It's so exciting. I can't wait to do it. It's nerve-wracking, but I have to give it a go.
Yeah.
You have to.
Any plans for next year already?
No, I don't. So if anybody needs an actress or anybody...
You still have to do that Shakespeare you keep talking about as well, don't you? Yeah.
Richard III as Richard.
Yeah.
And then, or maybe I'll just clean some houses if anybody needs a cleaner. I'm half good at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets now for Are Yule Being Served. Caroline, good to see you as always.
Good to see you
Thank
too.
you. Now, still to come on the show this evening, we'll be chatting to Clare Gallagher about her brand new book, Birds of a Feather Flock Together, and also brand new music from Black Dog Moon as well. But before all that, Boyzone star Keith Duffy was in Portadown recently for something very special. We sent Kim Kelly along, and here's what happened.
Well, I'm here today because the National Lottery have decided to award a young lady for her work with autism, and with her work also trying to get the word out there about the high chance of suicide within young adults and people with autism in general. Unfortunately, in her own experience, her son took his own life. Her son with autism, Luke, took his own life. And since then, she has realised that there's a high prevalence of suicide within children with autism. And she's been nominated by a lot of amazing people up here in Portadown. They made sure that the National Lottery were very well educated on the work that Julia has done and is doing. And the National Lottery decided that she was deserving of an award for the work that she's done, and they contacted me because of my connection with autism and asked me to travel up here today to be part of the whole award ceremony.
Julia, can you tell us a little bit about Luke? Yeah. Luke was diagnosed with autism at the age of 12. I always knew that there was just differences within Luke as a young age. Luke didn't. He was non-verbal until he was 4 years old. And he was just very, very good, very quiet. If you give him something, he just sat there and played all day. There wasn't really anything, difficult. Nothing stood out. Really, once he turned 12 years old and he was going to secondary school, that's when things came apparent. We started going to classes, knowing where that he should have been, interacting with a lot more people that he didn't go to primary school with, interacting with teachers. That's when I knew that there was something different, and that's why we had him diagnosed at 12. When he just finished, it was just near the end of secondary school, and we just knew that he wasn't going to be able to go on in school, and that's when I took him out and we started to homeschool him.
So you had him at home and you homeschooled him. Did you get any sense that he was very much on his own? Was he feeling isolation, for instance?
Initially, no. He was happy enough being at home. He knew the routine, he knew the structure. When he started about 15, then we knew that there was different, he started wanting to go out more, but he knew that he couldn't. And then we seen that his mental health maybe was being affected, but we also put it down to autism.
So tell us about the months and days leading up to his passing.
Unfortunately, Luke died in February 2021. Obviously, COVID had just more or less set in. So I think a lot of, initially it would have been maybe around fear. He was fearful of maybe catching COVID. When we went to visit him, he would have been very much, who have you been in contact with? And we noticed then he was getting very agitated and very worried. But we tried as a family, to keep him, grounded. Luke was very much into the internet, so he probably knew more about COVID and what was going on in the world than we did. And that's when issues with his hands, because he was a computer, maybe he wasn't being able to do his computer the same, he wasn't being able to do his art. We really felt that he was getting very, very stressed.
Right, so the signs of stress were there, and then you've said that the internet played its part as well with certain websites you've mentioned.
Yeah, unfortunately, after Luke had died, we'd found that he had been on a suicide forum. He had joined it on the 9th of January, and Luke died on the 25th of February. Just after he had died, obviously, I had his mobile phone, and I also had his computer, which I could see then Luke's messages. So I kind of knew what he was, thinking, how he was planning, to die by suicide. I'd seen messages to his friends. He did have a couple of friends online. They had done everything possible to really encourage him not to do what he was going to do. But unfortunately, Luke usually once within his messages, it was, I don't see life like you do. I am different. I know that I'm different. So he knew.
And of course, this new research is very much showing a link between people who experience neurodiversity and suicide.
Yeah, obviously researching after Luke had passed away, there's a high prevalence of co-occurring conditions that go with autism that people don't know, the like of depression, the like of OCD. So really, that was things as a mother I didn't know. But now the research is there, it is available, and the Autism Hive, that's what we want to share. We were working alongside Newcastle University, Dr. Sarah Cassidy, who's one of the most, she's very highly into suicide awareness within the autism community.
Your daughter Mia herself was targeted by online tricksters, and that must have been very difficult for you.
It was more difficult for me and my daughter, to be honest, because she was scammed like you or I could be scammed in the morning. People get your passwords, they get your email addresses, they hack your social media, they hack your bank accounts, and it's fraudulent. They take money under false pretenses. Mia is very aware she has autism. When she was scammed, they did manage to take money from her bank account, and Mia put it down to the fact that she was autistic and had autism, and she got very upset over it, and it caused huge amounts of upset and distress within Mia. And the thing about children and young adults with autism, as much as they can progress, they can regress when they hit something like this, when they're scammed like this, when people abuse the position, and they can regress. And that's a huge worry for parents. When they see their child with autism progressing well, for them to regress, it's a huge worry because you don't know where it's going to stop, and the scammers did that to Mia, and it was an awful time. So I completely can understand, the situation.
So I guess this is something that we as parents need to look out for, and particularly parents of those who have children who have things like autism and neurodiversity. We have to watch out for them, and it's a real shame that we do, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I've been working with children with autism for 20 years, and this is a huge eye-opener for me. I wasn't aware of the statistics of suicide within autism. Now that I hear it, I completely understand it. Absolutely, I do. I mean, there were times in our lives when Mia was a late teenager, and I remember her coming to us at times asking us, was she a burden on us? And that, maybe we'd be better off without her. And I never for a second thought that Mia was having any type of suicidal kind of ideas. But and I'm not saying that she did, but it didn't occur to me that she could have been, and now thinking back to those conversations, it might have been occurring to her at the time, and thank God she's passed through that situation, and she's very independent now. But I can only imagine that there's a lot of parents like me out there that are not aware that, as well as the worry of having a child with autism, that you have to keep an eye on making sure that their mental health is in a good place.
So knowing what you know now, what would your message be to other parents of autistic children who are struggling with their mental health, for instance?
I think changes in behaviour. You know, unfortunately, Luke came to my house at the end of January, which he had never done. You know, and I think that was his way of saying goodbye. Whereas, unfortunately, as a mother, I seen it as a positive, thinking that he was getting out of his house. So even just a massive change in behaviour, there's obviously something going on. It's really then, you know, don't be afraid to ask the questions. Is there something wrong? Are you okay?
Yes. So what does it mean to you today to meet Keith and also for the National Lottery?
It's been absolutely amazing. You know, the awareness that the National Lottery is bringing to us, the £5,000 that we're, you know, obviously awarded. You know, we're hoping that that'll be workshops. There's more information out there, more education and training that we'll be able to deliver. Meeting Keith today, honestly, I've got to say that I didn't really fully know what he did to help within autism. Today, you know, his passion for what he does, you know, his love for his daughter and wanting to bring change to the autistic community has really given me a sense, right, okay, this is possible, you know, so to have him today has just been amazing for us.
Tell us a little bit about your work at the Autism Hub.
The Autism Hub, it's a small it's a small meeting of a few autistic teenagers. We get together, we do arts and crafts, we do Minecraft, everything computers. We also have had a few days out with the kids, and it's really looking after their mental health, finding how they are, listening to them, you know, and whenever they are needing support, you know, we're there for that, just to encourage them, you know, that, you know, there is hope out there.
Right, we're talking about a brand new book called Birds of a Feather Flock Together by Clare Gallagher. We'll find out all about it right after these.
Let the good times roll at Super Strikes at the Jet Centre. You can now book your lane online. We've got 14 bowling lanes and 4 mini bowling lanes. Plus we serve delicious hot food and snacks, or enjoy a cold beverage with your food after the game. Discover bowling today at the Jet Centre. Jet Centre, entertainment for everyone.
So, welcome back to Robin Elliott tonight. We're going to find out about a brand new novel which has just been released. It's called Birds of a Feather Flock Together from Clare Gallagher, who joins us now in the studio. How are you?
Thanks, Robin. I'm great, great.
How does it feel to get the copy of your book in your hand for the first time? It's exciting, isn't it?
I'm delighted. I am. It has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It really has. And just to finally actually hold it in my hands, it's just unbelievable. It's great.
So tell us what it's all about then. It takes us to college days in America and stuff, doesn't it?
It does. So it's inspired by, I did a study abroad and went to study in a college in America for a year. And very apprehensive young girl going out to America for a year, you know, leaving my parents and going and not knowing what to expect. And met, of course, I had to have a roommate, and so met my American roommate, and we absolutely just clicked, Robin, just clicked, and we became the best of friends and just had the time of our lives.
Wow.
And 25 years later, we are still the best of friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. We're soul sisters.
Yeah.
So it really just was inspired by that, going away to college, basically coming of age.
Yes.
That I really wanted to do. So I decided, and then it just sort of decided that the story flowed from there.
And were you somebody who was always keeping journals and stuff of your journey throughout your life?
Do you know, that's what it was, Robin. I actually had old journals. I had kept old emails like you do, you know, whenever I was away in college. And I actually pretty much decided to take and clear the attic over lockdown.
Yeah.
So cleared the attic over lockdown and found all of the journals, and everything's just came flooding back, all the fun and frolics. And I just decided to put pen to paper.
Yeah.
And it just went from there.
So what kind of things happen in the book? Are there plenty of adventures for us to look forward to?
Oh, it absolutely is, you know. So, but I have to say it is not an autobiography or anything at all. I actually had to create these characters. So I really wanted just to create this sense, and it's a sense of friendship. It's a sense of sisterhood and all of just the college drama that goes with it, about going away to college for the first time, going away from home, and really just having that wonderful experience.
The big thing is friendship, and that's something that we've already heard already. There's something that's so important to you.
No, absolutely, Robin, it really is. And as I say, you know, going back to my time in America, I had met friends that have become family, primarily. As I say, my roommate's still my best friend 25 years later. Her family are like family to me. And I do actually think that would resonate with so many people have said to me, oh, I did a year, studied abroad, I traveled abroad for a year. I spent that experience in your sort of gap year, so to speak, and just, you know, I just had this story in my head, and it really just developed from there. So the really bonds of friendship, I thought, would really resonate with so many people.
What about the best friend then? What's her thoughts on the book then?
Oh, she absolutely loved it. Absolutely. But
did you have to share bits of her on your journey or your writing process, did you, or did you keep it to the end?
I wrote it and then at the end, but I have to say, like, that's the thing, everybody has said, oh, in the book you did this, and I'm like, no, it's the story, it's not me. And even my friend, I can't remember doing all that. I must have been drunker than I thought. But you know, no, she loved it, and she just the story is embodied with that sense of friendship, and that's where I actually then had to create new characters. I had to create the storyline, and it just really just took off. So she absolutely loved it, and she's over in America, and she is really rooting for me over here now with the book launch.
Brilliant. Well, the book's out now. It'd make a great Christmas present for somebody as well, wouldn't
it? Absolutely. One for your bestie, your best friend. Yeah.
Indeed, Claire, the best of luck with the book, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you. Right, so we're going to finish off the show this week with some brand new music from Black Dog Moon. Before we hear the song, I'm pleased to say the guys from the band join me in the studio. Conal Montgomery and Nicky Brown, welcome. Conal, something a bit different from you. We're used to hearing all this acousticy stuff when you come into the studio, but of course, behind it all, there's a rock star in there as well, isn't there?
I've gone full circle, and I'm excited about it, I really am. I've sort of got my teeth into the rock music again. I think the other two albums, there's a bit of rock in the first one, but I think it's improved my songwriting, and I've had to do that journey to get to here. You know, so I remember saying to a radio DJ at one stage, I will put a rock album out, and that was about 6 years ago. So I have the songs written, I've got the band around me. Good guys like Nicky, Daniel,
gonna make me blush
and Marty. You're all right. That's all you're getting today. But I feel I have the right team around me, and we've got the songs written, and we're ready to go. You know.
Already, Nicky. I mean, the songs are picking up airplay. You're getting great feedback, aren't you?
Yep. And the thing about it is, it's all going in the right direction. The journey that Conal and I started, just over a year ago, wasn't it? It was August sort of time.
Yeah.
Whenever we started sort of playing together. Him and I, we've known each other for now nearly 20 years. Nearly 20 years. And like the first time, we sort of known each other through music circles, but the first time we actually got to meet each other face to face, I've got a lasting memory of it.
Yes.
I got that tattoo that night that we shared a stage.
On the Baker scene.
Yep.
Right,
Playing Sweetleaf, we're playing, and Brownstone.
Yep.
And that was a messy night.
It was interesting now. It was interesting. That was way back then.
Yeah. Apparently the gig was good, but so we're told.
Sunday.
And you're behaving yourself these days, aren't you?
I'm behaving myself still, Robin, yes. Yep. I'm coming up on 8 years sober.
Brilliant, yeah.
So, and loving life, and making music, and making good friends, and people that, well, as in a band, when you're a front man, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder to see what's behind you, but I get that in the friendship as well.
Yes, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I came to see you guys playing in Killylay earlier on this year.
That's right.
What a gig, what a night. I mean, every rock song you could think of, you guys are playing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we should know them by now, you know. we've been doing these covers for probably a long time, 25 years, 30, maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
But they still sound fresh. You're not one of these guys who are just going through the motions up there on stage. You still are doing it as if you're doing it for the first time.
It's mainly about enjoyment, because having the ability to play music and entertain people is an absolute joy. It's something that should be cherished, and I defy anybody that says they don't like playing live music. When you see that buzz whenever you stand on the stage, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. You know, if I was doing it for the money, I'd be a very poor man. You know what I mean? It's like an old my blues song. I got a blues, I got no money. You know what I mean? But it's good fun. And every time I go on stage with this guy here and the rest of the guys in the band, whether I am hanging to bits or not feeling 100% physically, as soon as I stand on the stage and I plug that in, it's just lifted immediately. You know.
I did a gig with him recently, and everybody's still talking about it, because one minute he's doing a massive rock number, the next minute he's playing something nice and acoustic on the guitar, and then the next minute he's doing Tom Jones. And people go, wow.
That's versatility right there. That boy's some set of pipes on, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Really does, you know? And it's an absolute pleasure to be in this guy's company. I love this guy. He's my brother. Like, you know, he's my guy. You're my guy.
You've got a big gig, hopefully, coming up in December, haven't you? Tell us about that.
It's in Murphy's in Downpatrick on the 9th of December. We think, because as everybody knows, with the floods over the last week, Downpatrick has been hit very hard. I've heard all the councillors out appealing for help, appealing for, you know, Stormont to get back up and running. Because if the sky falls, are we going to agree to survive? You know, the sky did fall on Downpatrick, and it fell on Portadown, and it fell on Uri, and still we're waiting on the people that represent us to get back to work and to get a package together for these people, because the devastation in that town is unreal, and it filters through jobs that are lost, places that won't open again. So I'm waiting on the guys from Murphy's to get in touch with me later on this evening, and it was for LCCL, my adopted charity, and the guys, Manus and Eilish, are still smiling. They're taking pictures of Market Street with rainbows over it, you know. So these guys are hard to put down, you know, and I know that guys have been on the programme with you before, and the work they do for people who are struggling with trauma, addiction and self-worth every day in Downpatrick. That hub is essential, as are all the other businesses. So I'm gonna wait on Murphy's.
So if the gig doesn't happen on the 9th, you're going to hold that, because Murphy's need the custom as well. So you're going to hold that gig into next year then as well.
Yes, we all need to rally around all the businesses in Downpatrick and spend our pound in all of the businesses once they open up again. And community, let's be community. You know.
Good stuff. You're going to finish off the show with a track for us, Rainy Night in Belfast. Tell us the story behind this one.
Nicky wrote a little song on acoustic, and he gave it to me, and in 15 minutes I had the lyrics written to it, because just the feeling of it. I manifest a lot of fantasies in my head where my songs come from, and one was, I just love nostalgia, and I love anything that triggers that in me. And I remember playing in the Northern Wig just round the corner on a Thursday night, probably 5 years ago. And we were on the Thursday night, it was me and another friend of mine, Robert Lyons, and I just remember you're going through the motions, you're playing those songs. As you said, we know these songs inside out, so we're playing the songs, and I'm just watching out the window, the rain hitting the window on an autumn night, and Belfast City's just going past the window. And there's people coming in, shaking their umbrellas, sitting down, you hear the hustle bustle, and they're getting ready for the weekend, they're maybe just out of work. And there's guys standing talking in the bar, the barman's there. So I wrote it around that, and it's a love story as well, because it's the singer standing on stage and spies this person walking by the window every Thursday night, rushing for their bus, And if you've noticed, I haven't said whether it's a he or a she. So this song can relate to everybody that's in love. And it's more, there's a love story, but it's a nod to Belfast as well. Because Belfast is alive.
Yeah.
Belfast is happy. Belfast is buzzing after 25 years of peace. So there's a nod in there and a tip of your hat to the city of Belfast that deserves peace and quiet, but a different, not all quiet, you know, go out and have fun.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, tell us about the Black Dog Moon album. It's coming out next year, isn't it?
Yep. Next year, March, April, May or June.
March, April, May or June.
With 4.5 songs done, we're going to have 9 on the album. Yeah. So we have the songs written, so January, February is usually slack, so we should have more time to get in there, but we're not going to rush it. Yeah. We're hoping March.
Okay, brilliant. We look forward to that. Nicky, Conal, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks again.
So that's all we have time for on the show this week. To play us out, Conal and Nicky from Black Dog Moon with their new song, A Rainy Night in Belfast. I'll see you back here same time next week. Bye-bye.
Thursday night I'm looking out for you. Six o'clock and work friends shuffle in. Just another night for me and you. November in the city, one more tune. I see you walking by the window. Heart beats faster, song is over. Crowd applaud, I cheer inside for you. And he's talking at the bar to Stu. Another answer, yeah, and one for you. Barman drops a glass, the place explodes. Rainy nights in Belfast, one more June. Glistening streetlights, cars sail by. I catch your eye as you walk by. Hello. Hello.
Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.